Hello guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Igwe Chidima, that yoga fashion lady. So in today's tutorial, we're going to be making this corset with yoke. It's going to be very simple and beginners friendly, okay? So if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, please do so. If you're new here, you are welcome. To my returning subscribers, thank you so much. So let's get started now. And so to start off, I'm going to take the shoulder measurement, and I just marked half 7.5 inches there. That is the shoulder measurement I'm working with. So I'm coming down here by 7.5 inches. That is the armhole line. Then I just marked 10 inches. That is the bust point. 13 for the under bust. 15 for the waistline, and then half an inch for the stitching allowance. And right here, I'm going to label the lines I just marked. The first one is chest line. Second one is the bust point, under bust, and the waistline. And then AL is for the allowance. So the next thing I want to do is to take the dart measurement, and this bust span I'm working with is 4 inches. So I'm just going to mark this 4 inches all the way through to the chest line. Then after marking that, I'm going to place my tape on the chest line. I went up by 2 inches. So it's optional though. Normally, if you're to cut this with your main fabric, you're going to determine how much of the cleavage you want to reveal. Maybe some people go by 1.5, 1.5 or 2. So I went up by 2. Then right here, I'm just taking 1 inch on the both side of the dart line that I just marked. So I'm just taking 1 inch on both sides, on the waistline and then on the under bust. So that's what I'm just connecting here. Then with my curve rule, my improvised curve rule, I'm going to curve the lines into the bust point, just like I'm doing here with this curve. If you have your curve rule, you use, if you can do that with your free hand, you can, but I'm just using this to curve it. So on the 2 inches line I extended up, I'm going to place my tape at the center and then take 1 inch also at the both sides. So I placed my tape on that line that I extended up, then take 1 inch on both sides. Then on the chest line, I'm going to come in by half an inch. That is what I did. I came in by half an inch, and then I'm going to connect it from that chest line, that half an inch, to the 1 inch up there that I marked. So that is what I did. Then from that half an inch, I'm going to connect it also to this 1 inch I also marked at this down part of the under bust and the waistline. Okay, please just look at what I am doing. Then I placed my tape on the dart line, that 4 inches dart line, and then I marked 4 inch as I went out by 4 inches from that dart line. So I'm going to connect it up to the chest line, just like this. Then after that, I'm still going to place my curve rule on that center, making sure that the curve rule is exactly on that 2 inches I went up by. So from there, from the 1 inch I marked by the side, I'm going to connect it to the armhole where the other line stopped. So right here, I'm just trying to blend the line, the curve into the armhole. Then from the shoulder line, from the armhole, I came down by 4 inches, like the half of the armhole. Then I'm going to use the curve rule to mark the armhole. And then after that, to determine the shoulder slant, I'm going to place my tape also on the armhole line, and then come down by half an inch, which is what I just marked there. Then I'm taking my neckline measurement, and the neckline is 4 by 4 inches. That's what I'm marking here. Then I'm going ahead to curve it with this curve rule. You can do it with your free hand. If you have your curve rule, then just curve it. Then I'm going to just mark the slanted shoulder line. That is the half inch I marked on the armhole. I'm going to mark it straight to connect it straight to the neckline. Then here I want to take the um proper measurement now, the body measurement, and the waist I'm working with is 7.5 inches. I just marked it. Then here is 2 inches. This dot line I'm going to cut off here is 2 inches, so I marked it, I replaced it here. Then add my sewing allowance. That is what I just did here. First of all, take your body measurement, then check how many inches you have on this dot line, then replace it and then add your allowance. That's what I just did. Then here on the bust point, I'm going to take the bust measurement, and the bust measurement is 8.75. I just marked it and then I added the 2 inches allowance. So if you notice, I didn't take much allowance from there. I didn't take any at all, so that's why I didn't add any one. Okay, just like the waistline, so I just added just the sewing allowance. Then on this upper, the 1 inch I marked up, I'm going to do the chest tightening. That's what I'm doing here, the dart line. I'm just going to curve it into the bust line. That 1 inch I marked up, I'm connecting it into the bust point. Then after cutting that off, I'm going to use it to cut the back part. So I'm taking 2 inches by the side, which will serve as the zipper allowance. Okay, so you already know. So for the back part, you're going to add a zipper to it. Normally, if it was on a normal fabric, normal dress, so you take out 2 inches for your zipper allowance. So that is what I marked here. Then I'm going to place this front part exactly on that line I marked, the zipper allowance line I marked. Then I'm going to cut it out. So on this top part, I'm going to determine the neckline, the neckline. I'm just trying to mark it here so that it will be the same with the back one. But this back side is going to be a V-neck. So that's what I'm determining, how low I want the V-neck to go. So I'm going to mark 5.5 here. That is what I marked. So I'm cutting off the yoke now for the front part. If you want to also use another fabric to make a yoke for the back one, you can also cut from the armhole of your back part, back panel or back block, anyone you want to call it. So you can just cut from the armhole and then use a net or another fabric to replace it. That will serve as your yoke. Note that when you're cutting a corset, always remember to mark, like label it, the first and the second one. You can either mark 1 and 2 or A and B, so that you will know how to join it while joining. Okay, so we've come to the end of this video, guys. After, you will see how I'm going to label mine. I'm going to label 1 and 2. So as I've labeled it 1 and 2, that will be how I'm going to join it while sewing. So that is all for this video. I hope this was helpful. Thank you so much for watching. Please give the video a thumbs up, please, so that more people can get to see the video. Okay, please give the video a thumbs up, share it as well, and please, most importantly, subscribe if you have not. Okay, I love you so much. Bye. See you in my next video.